An Erios original.
Hello and welcome to Web Crawlers, a podcast where we do a deep dive into some of our favorite unsolved mysteries. Each week, we will introduce our topic, lay out our research and findings, reveal some conspiracy theories, and conclude with our own hypothesis. Who knows, we might even solve the case. I'm Allie Siegel.
And I'm Melissa Stetton.
Web Crawlers has a Patreon to get access to rewards, bonus episodes, videos, shoutouts, and merchandise discounts. And we are really posting now all the time.
All the time.
Please go to patreon.com/webcrawlers and you can donate as little as $2 a month to become one of our bimbo patrons. For merch, go to webcrawlers.com. Nope. For merch, go to webcrawlerspod.com or
hothorse.horse if you're nasty.
And even bigger news, we have a Cameo.
Yay.
So if you want me and Melissa to wish you a happy birthday.
Yeah, tell us to follow you on social medias.
Yeah, or pump you up or be like, maybe you own a dairy farm. And you want me and Melissa to be like, yo, buy milk from Gary's Dairy.
Yes, that'll happen. All of our listeners who own dairy farms.
Yeah, and you want us to do a cameo for you. You can find us at Cameo at Webcrawlers Pod also.
I'm this producer Maria.
Hi, Maria.
I'm on Cameo right now. What would I click on to find you guys?
I think you search Webcrawlers Pod.
Podcast.
Okay.
Or just Web Crawlers.
You guys, you can also get animals to do it.
Wait,
Stop it, really?
like famous animals?
Ruben the bulldog costs $25.
But what is he?
We cost $20.
Hosiko the cat is $50.
You've got to be kidding
These
me.
are all, I guess,
But then
internet famous.
what do they do?
Like, do their owners?
Well, I'm going to click on Chubbs the Wampug, and he's $10.
Pug.
And then he basically, so his owner's in it too, which is stupid.
Ew.
Well, someone's got to talk.
That's sick because
No.
that's not the dog
That's
talking.
the owner.
That's the owner
trying to get their 15 minutes.
They should at least do like a computer voice
Yeah.
and make the dog look like.
Absolutely. I think my dog said my name. I just got a new dog, and I think my dog said my name today.
It did?
Yeah, in the car, I think I went, Allie.
Okay, I found you guys, and this is wow. People love it.
Yeah, can you play one of them?
Here's one.
Geoff.
Jeff B.
Jeff B. Geoff with a G.
Goff.
Goff, Geoff. Jeff Bayer. Why? Don't be depressed. The world is so beautiful. The sun is shining.
Well, I don't
know where you live.
It's shining here in Los Angeles.
It's shining.
But it's
you
sunny
know what's
here
going to
every day.
happen? Melissa and I are going to find out where you live. We're going to show up.
Come to your house unannounced.
We're going to come to your house
gonna break
unannounced
into
and
your
make you
house.
happy. We're going to break into
gonna
your
pump
house.
you up.
We're going to pump you up.
Wow. You guys.
We're worth the $20, don't you think?
Yeah. And then what's this one where it's just Allie?
Welcome to the Web Crawlers Cameo. If you want me or Melissa or both of us
Allie,
to
you look
record
like a
video
rock
for
star,
you,
like a rock
saying
star
anything,
gone
just
wrong.
like
doing almost anything. This is a great
got
place
his
for $20.
sunglasses on.
We
Wait, I
will
haven't
have
seen
a video from us that you can keep and cherish forever. Looking forward to interacting with you in the web platform. Okay, bye.
You look really cool. You look cool.
Hey guys, I live in Los Feliz. That's how I got to walk around when I'm over there.
You look cool.
Well, that's great, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you. So anyways, $20. And sometimes we have $5 flash sales.
Yeah, we'll probably do that like for the holidays.
Yeah, for the holidays. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Oh, Black
Merry
Friday.
Christmas.
Black Friday sales.
Happy Black Friday.
Each day of Hanukkah is the price for the Cameo. So it's like $1 on the first day.
Oh, up to $8?
Up to $8. And then on Christmas Eve, it's $24. And then Christmas is $25.
Look at you.
Wow. This is why you're a businesswoman.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Melissa, do we have any Patreon shout outs?
We have some Patreon shouts. We have Artica S.
Wow.
If that's a real name, that's a cool name.
I love it.
Seamus O.
Love it also.
And Ashley.
You
Love
can't
it.
always win.
Great.
I'm just kidding, Ashley. That's a really good name, too.
Because it's close to Asher, which is your dog's name.
Yes. Oh, cute.
Same name.
Weird thing of the week. We got a lot of cool stuff. Melissa, what was our first one?
We got one from William. He's our patron who has gravestones in his backyard. Remember we mentioned that. And he emailed us photos.
Oh my God.
He said, "Hey, web crawlers, I finally made it back to my parents' house in Lancaster and was able to dig up some of the old gravestones. The original owner of the house was a headstone engraver.
Oh my God.
And these may have been some that he messed up or practiced with.
Oh,
Here's
interesting.
some pics, videos. Yeah. The first gravestone is for a 3-day-old unnamed infant.
Oh my God.
This is the only one I could find with clear engravings. The second one has a symbol or number that I was unable to decipher.
Prince.
Yes, it was for Prince. My parents said that one of them had his dead wife's initials carved into it, but I was unable to confirm if that's what it was. Allegedly, there are no bodies buried in the backyard.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah,
But also, I think he should do some more digging.
Yes. But it was he sent pictures. One of them said like Michael and Christine something. Then one was
my
like infant that
God.
was 3 days old. They were just kind of like in the backyard. It's kind of buried a little like under the dirt.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
We also got another amazing email.
Yeah, just today.
Entitled, I Survived the Bermuda Triangle. Hi, ladies. I just listened to your episode about ghost ships and your take on Bermuda. Just thought I would email you, but why are you hysterically laughing?
Because our take on Bermuda is such a funny.
We got a lot of response from that Bermuda
Yeah,
episode.
we have hot takes on Bermuda. Just thought I would email you because my husband and I went on a cruise to Bermuda back in 2017. I can verify that it is in fact a real place, or so they would like us to believe.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful island, and fun fact, Bermuda is made up of over 100 tinier islands.
It is?
I would 10 out of 10 recommend visiting.
Wow.
It's on our agenda.
I'm an Instagram follower of Bermuda
I
now.
just started following Bermuda on Instagram
And
as
Bermuda
well.
has its own Instagram?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
It's beautiful.
gorgeous.
Stunning. Okay. Anyway, we went on an excursion on a glass-bottom boat to see a shipwreck out in the famous Bermuda Triangle.
Wow.
I was a little nervous because of the hype the triangle has gained over the years.
Sure.
We actually went into the triangle, saw the shipwreck, and I'm here writing you this email.
Wow.
I'm proud to say I survived the Bermuda Triangle. You girls are great. I love listening to your variety of topics. I subscribe and look forward to listening to more research of your theories. Never stop sleuthing, Spence.
I mean, I'm in.
We got to go for ourselves.
I have to go.
I have a feeling we'll get sucked in.
Something tells me that's not the same person who went to the Bermuda Triangle. It's now someone.
Oh my God, like a
They're
alternate?
changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a body snatcher type situation, and
shit.
trying to get the word out that like no,
Everything's
I'm
fine. I went
Yeah,
there and
we
everything
need
was
to
great.
who
There's
sent this
definitely
email?
not.
It's definitely one and luring us there.
I need to. We gotta Google this person who sent the email. Are you a Terminator?
Oh my God, it's a Terminator.
I'm serious.
Terrifying. Well, this is our first fact that the Bermuda Triangle. Nice
Spencer.
try, Spence.
Yeah, Spence. Spence isn't a real name.
Yeah.
Come
Oh my
on.
God.
That's a name you make up when you want to seem like you're cool. Like, oh, it's a Spence.
Does Spence like spell out into anything if you rearrange the letters? What is that called? An anagram?
Yeah.
I'm going to anagram maker.
I would say it spells
Sentient person.
Sentec.
Peens.
Beans.
Okay, I'll do
C
Spencer.
silent?
It's probably Spence is probably short for Spencer,
It is
right?
Spencer.
Okay.
It's a Hotmail address.
Screen this letter maybe.
There's
maybe-
a code in this email.
Yeah, maybe it's a cry for help.
Yeah,
I
maybe
would
it is.
10 recommend visiting.
Yeah, of course you would.
Who says that in an email?
The glass bottom boat thing, that's another red flag for me.
Yes.
That's something an alien would say, in my opinion.
Oh my God, crepes. It also rearranges to crepes.
It does.
Yeah, there's a website called Anagram Solver. You can.
What would
I'll put in
crepes
Melissa
have
right
to
now.
do with Bermuda? Is it French? No,
Wait
it's
a
an
minute.
English territory.
Crepes is also creeps.
Oh
My God! we solved it.
Spence
That's
is creep.
Creeping.
Oh my God.
This is
Screep.
call the cops.
911. We just figured out that Spencer is an anagram for creeps. Please come
With
to
the pasta
Erios.
free.
Come to
Wait a
Erios
minute.
Studios.
How is because you did Spencer
There's
creeping.
no
It's
N.
Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer. That's his real name. Spencer R.
We won't do it on air, but we should do the first and last name in the anagram solver and see what happens.
We're coming for you.
I'm a big believer in this. Okay, well, on to our main story.
Quickly, can I just read a quick review that was left for you guys on Apple?
yeah,
and,
please.
and a reminder that all of you should rate and review. Like, go right now and do it because all of us read all of them.
Oh, we really do. We have a group chat and we send them to each other.
This one's called Superhero Brian, or that's who it's from. And the subject line is Hardy Har Har, and it's 5 stars, and it says, I feel like I'm having a sleepover with the hot popular girls from high school when I listen to this.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wow.
Now that really
Is that the whole review?
That's the whole review.
Oh my God, I love it. I want to
Yeah.
make that into a shirt or a bumper sticker or something.
There's just a new review. It says Coast to Coast AM for the less insane.
And the more hot
Yeah, that's great.
and popular. Oh my God, I love it.
Wow.
Thank you guys. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good reviews. It really makes us feel better about ourselves.
It does make us feel
But
better
I
about
think that
ourselves.
you're right. I was definitely not hot or popular. I don't know.
Neither.
I wasn't either.
So I think you're
Now we are.
I was fat.
okay. I was just friends with everyone. I
was just
floated.
I was never there. I was
Floater.
at raves. I skipped school every day of my life.
None of us would have hung out in high school.
No, but look at us now.
Look at us now.
Look at us now.
Wow.
About to go to Bermuda Triangle. Come back as Terminators.
Yeah.
Ready for our real story? I mean, the rest were real, but we're going to talk about Wallace Souza, TV show host of Canal Livre, who was accused of murdering people to get higher ratings for his crime show. It is also the subject of a documentary currently on Netflix called Killer Ratings. Let's get into it.
A story from Brazil that is as serious as it is bizarre.
For 2 decades, Wallace Souza has been a crime-fighting vigilante.
A TV host saw his audience increased whenever he reported gruesome crime stories.
Souza's uncanny ability to sniff out crime wasn't because he was such a great reporter.
He started arranging and ordering murders so he could film them for his show.
Police say Souza and his son were involved in drug trafficking and commissioned at least 5 murders of rival drug dealers, alerting TV crews to get to the scene and film all the action.
Wallace was no longer reporting the crimes, he was ordering them.
Wallace Souza was a former police officer turned TV show host from Manaus, Brazil. He was fired for being a cop after he was arrested for petrol theft and pension fraud. In 1989, he started to host a live show with his 2 brothers called Canal Livre. It was the most popular show in Manaus, airing for 30 years from 1989 to 2009, although reruns sometimes still air.
Jeez.
He was upset by the amount of criminal gangs in the area, and he hoped that this show would be an expose on the horrors of all the stuff that these gangs cause, and that it would hopefully weaken their power by shining a light on them. The show eventually morphed into a live variety show with a studio audience where Wallace would discuss crime, news, music, humor, and also do interviews, and there were recurring bits. If a crime occurred while filming, he and the crew would go to the scene, oftentimes arriving even before the police got there.
Suspicious.
This made it the most popular show in Manaus because it's like live PD meets cops.
Cool.
The Guardian, the newspaper, described Wallace Souza at his prime as a Brazilian combination of David Attenborough, Sherlock Holmes, and Barack Obama.
That's
wow.
high praise.
Yeah.
In one instance, Canal Livre showed a reporter walking through the forest to examine a burning corpse. He told viewers, "It smells like barbecue."
Yeah,
the
of course.
body was still smoking. Wallace said that many people would call him before they called police because they didn't trust the police, which is fair enough because Brazilian police were known at the time to be corrupt. According to Time magazine, Souza, wanted to be the savior, says Calcavanti, head of the investigations which eventually investigated Souza. His ambition was to be chief of police, and when the city was calm, he ordered killings as a way of stirring things up. Wallace decided to run for office, state assembly, in 1998. He had the #1 show in Manaus and was well liked, so why not? He was elected to the state legislative assembly of Amazonas. He started with the Liberal Party, then he moved to the Social Christian Party. He was elected again in 2002 and in 2006.
He also had the most votes ever in the history of Brazil.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, I just read that this morning.
It's like this weird Trump thing where reality show personalities run for office, and because they already have that fan base, they get, it's bizarre. Wallace also wanted to take down the mayor of Carrari, Adele Pinheiro, who was part of a huge pedophile ring. His people would take photos of young girls and show them to him. Then he would pick which one he wanted, and they would be kidnapped, then raped. It seemed like Wallace was a good guy who had intentions of taking down criminals at first.
Okay, so during the height of this TV show, a drug dealer named Moa got arrested. He kept saying that he was terrified because he was going to be killed in prison because he worked for a large criminal ring. In exchange for protection, he decided to talk. He told the police everything. He said that the kingpin of this large criminal group ordered him to go out and commit crimes, robberies, and homicides. And the name of the leader of this group was Wallace Souza.
Dun, 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 dun. Boing.
Boing. But the police could not arrest Wallace because of a law in Brazil that states an elected official cannot be arrested. So he had parliamentary immunity.
Jesus. The story hit the media immediately. Wallace, it's like if Geraldo Rivera was just killing people.
Yes.
Wallace.
It's exactly what it's like.
That's literally
and
what it's
like he was a politician.
Yeah, if Geraldo Rivera ran for office and then was just killing people for ratings.
Yeah.
Wallace made a statement that he was being politically persecuted and set up, that it was a vile mistreating of him and his family, and basically said the whole thing was a lie. Mm-hmm. He called himself a warrior of light and said this was a plot to remove him from office. Was that a ghost?
Okay, so the lights just not in the office, but outside turned off.
The sun
turned off.
Crazy.
The sun turned off for a second.
Again.
Wait, no.
No, that was the light. That was the light.
It was after we said warrior of light.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Creeping.
Souza's dead.
That Ouija board is still in here.
What if he's visiting us while we do this
He
podcast?
He's here.
Please don't possess my dog. He called himself a warrior of light and said this was a plot to remove him from office. He said he had no idea who Moa was. A lot of fellow politicians supported him. Not a lot of people trusted the police, so it could be entirely possible that he was being set up. But then, Moa's wife contacted the Human Rights Committee to say her husband told her that he was tortured and coerced by police into saying Wallace Souza was behind all the killings. He said he was beaten, had a bag placed over his head. The interview made a lot of people believe Moa's wife. So, of course, Wallace ran with this and proclaimed his innocence.
So the Human Rights Committee interviewed Moa to see if his wife was telling the truth. They showed him a photo of him and Wallace in Wallace's pool, and he was taken aback. He looked uncomfortable, like he was lying. He's like, oh yeah, I know his son, Raphael. So clearly Moa was now being intimidated into taking back his own story too.
Right.
So when they showed that same photo to Wallace, who had previously claimed that he had no idea who Moa was, Wallace was like, oh, Moa, yeah, well, I know him as Jorge. It was like, okay, dude.
So everything's folding in on itself.
Yeah. So then there was another killing of Henrique. One night on Canal Livre, Wallace got tipped off that someone had been shot. They arrived to the scene and a man was on the ground, still alive. They basically watched him die and filmed it for the show. Gosh. Also, his mom was watching live and had to watch her son die.
Oh, no.
It was awful. Later, someone contacted the police to say someone who works on Canal Livre told him he doesn't know why they killed Henrique. Maybe he was a drug dealer, But the person who killed him was Moa.
Uh-oh.
And Raphael, Wallace Souza's son, was driving the car.
Oh, shit.
So Moa had previously told the police that Raphael was a key person in this criminal ring when he was arrested and interrogated. So it all changed when they got Moa's phone records. At that point, they knew they had Wallace. Moa had called Wallace and everyone working on Canal Livre and all of Wallace's associates multiple times over the past few years. He was basically in constant contact with all of them.
That's no good.
No.
The police had enough evidence to search Wallace's house, but they couldn't search his house because he still had parliamentary immunity. They could search his son's house, though, who happened to live with him.
Loophole.
In the house, police found a safe with around 243,000 reais, which is about $58,000, and 15,000 US dollars as well. In Raphael's room, they found a cabinet with 9 used bullets and a couple pieces of paper with lists on it. One list was all weapons. The other was a list of names of drug dealers who had already been killed. When they asked Raphael about the list, he said he couldn't explain it, although it was pretty obvious that it was a hit list. Guns and ammunition were also found, which they believe were used in killings across the city. They arrested Raphael immediately. The evidence confirmed everything that they had suspected. The list confirmed everything Moa had originally told them. But they still could not arrest Wallace because of his parliamentary immunity.
So then Wallace claimed he was innocent and that he had all of that money in case of health emergencies because he had thrombosis, but he did not have insurance. He said if something happened to him, he'd have to travel to his doctor in Sao Paulo to get treated, which, sure, that could make sense. He said the list of weapons was something that he was going to report on Canal Livre. Okay. The police then searched multiple houses of Wallace's associates and Canal Livre employees. They found a whole bunch of guns and ammunition, and a lot of the guns were the same ones that were on the list found at Wallace's house.
Uh-oh.
And then they arrested 9 people.
Shit.
Wallace's driver even got arrested just for being associated with him. He said when he got to prison, this is the driver, a lot of the inmates were there because of Wallace's accusations on Canal Livre. So they were like, fuck you, you're going to pay for this. It was all these drug dealers in prison because of Wallace, some of them there
that's
because they were innocent.
Yeah.
So the driver was like, it was hell. And then Wallace didn't think he was going to be arrested because he was a politician. He's like, I have immunity. I'm not going to get arrested. But then the parliament held a hearing about Wallace. Wallace was actually in the hospital at the time because he had a liver disease.
Interesting.
He insisted on showing up, but he was on a stretcher.
Oh, God.
So he came into the assembly on the stretcher.
Drama.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, it's for show.
Yeah.
He was really sick, though. But he said the same thing. He said it was a political plot to remove him from office. He was being persecuted. People thought the whole stretcher thing was for show. And then on October 1st, 2009, the assembly decided to vote on the impeachment. So Wallace wore all white to the hearing. He carried a Bible. He was crying, but no one showed sympathy, and he was eventually voted out. So, no longer having parliamentary immunity, he could be arrested.
Nice. So then on October 5th, a warrant was issued for his arrest for hiring a hitman to kill 9 people. The police went to his house, but he was nowhere to be found. He ran from the law for 4 days before surrendering. He was charged with murder, drug trafficking, witness tampering, illegal guns, and creating a criminal gang. Giselle, a reporter for Canal Livre, said she saw drugs being planted all the time for the show. If the crew arrived to a scene and nothing exciting was happening, they'd go to their car to get drugs to plant. She saw many innocent people go to jail. She said Wallace and his crew would take people to this place where they'd put a plastic bag over their head until they confessed to the crime they wanted them to. Giselle said she witnessed it once and was horrified. On May 11th, 2010, a producer on Canal Livre said she was present when Wallace ordered a hit on a federal judge.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
Shortly after turning himself in, Souza complained of health issues. He was too sick to attend his trial. He had a rare liver disease called Budd-Chiari syndrome. He was in the hospital for 3 months with heart and liver issues.
So ultimately, it was a testimony of Moa that landed Raphael and his father in prison. Moa eventually went to prison himself for participating in the killings, and on New Year's Day 2017, he was burned alive in his cell in Campage during a riot that killed 56 prisoners. The riot was gang-related, but the prisoners had a score to settle with Moa because he was participating in all these drug dealers' killings. So he was perhaps the last person who knew the truth about whether Wallace had orchestrated murders for ratings or not. In July 2010, while awaiting trial, Wallace Souza died from a heart attack. His son went to jail.
What?
The voice thing you did with it was like I'll believe it when I see it. That's like the voice you made.
Well,
Well, Epstein.
Yeah, a little
didn't
Epstein.
kill himself.
I felt a little Epstein vibe.
I got some theories on this. We'll get to those later. So Raphael went to jail, and a lot of people think that it was like, oh, well, we can't get Wallace Souza, so
Raphael's his son, yeah.
we're going to get his son. He was sentenced in 2012 to serve 9 years for the death of a trafficker, and he was given work release in 2015.
What does that mean?
I think that's when you can leave jail to go to a job and then you come back to jail, I believe.
Interesting.
Remember Jeffrey Epstein had a work release.
Oh yeah, he could go do whatever it was his stockbroker.
Yeah, and then come back to jail.
Interesting.
So the website Screen Rant sums Souza up. They said, Wallace Souza, upset by the prevalence of criminal gangs in the area, conceived of his show as an expose on the horrors of criminal gangs that would hopefully weaken their power by shining the light on them. The fact that a show that was initially designed to fight crime led to more crime is an irony so grand that it would be funny if not for all of the people that Souza harmed in his ruthless quest for fame and money.
True. So Souza's brother,
He has two brothers.
Became a federal congressman.
Crazy.
In May 2019, both of his two brothers were then sentenced to prison for drug trafficking. On May 7, 2019, Carlos and Fastio were sentenced to 15 years in prison and fined the equivalent of nearly $14,000 for drug trafficking crimes. The brothers also maintain that they're innocent, and they're saying that they will appeal the conviction. Then the pedophile mayor that Souza was trying to take down, Adele Pinheiro, was finally arrested in 2014, and he was sentenced to 11 years in prison.
Yeah.
And then, oddly enough, Canal Livre was aired at noon when it was on.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was like a nighttime show, but it was like during the day.
This is a daytime show.
Yeah.
It's like Sally Jesse Raphael or like
Geraldo Rivera.
Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, he takes like nudes and posts them on the internet.
Geraldo Rivera does?
Yeah, did you not know this?
Wait, I remember him posting one photo of like his chest or something, but I thought it was like an accidental tweet.
No, I think it was real, but maybe I'm just like, how do you spell Geraldo?
Geraldo.
Yeah, I got it.
Geraldo.
Geraldo. I don't think he has Instagram anymore.
Well, yeah.
After that mishap. But no, here it is.
And we'll post this on our Instagram.
We will post the Geraldo Rivera topless pic on our Instagram. But yeah, no, I think he's doing some salacious stuff online. But yeah, so it's like the era of all that weird midday talk show stuff.
Yeah.
But in Brazil, there was this.
Yeah, everyone watched the show.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And then you said that it's still rerunning.
Yeah,
There's still reruns.
They still show reruns of it occasionally.
That's crazy.
Well, the thing is, it was a variety show. So they had like, there was a skit on it with a puppet that was like a recurring bit.
Oh, interesting.
It was a puppet named like Gallerito, where he would like make fun of everyone. And it was like, people loved it. It was so strange.
Oh my God.
What? What did you just find?
I put Wallace Souza in the anagram maker.
Oh no.
No.
And it makes coleslaw. Yeah.
Don't you have to use all the letters?
I don't know, girl.
Because there's definitely
There's no Z in coleslaw.
So there's the show on Netflix called Killer Ratings.
Yes.
There's 7 episodes. It's great. I watched the whole thing.
I did not watch the whole thing.
It's very, I mean, they come at it on both sides.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think he was framed.
Yeah, people do think they're like diehard fans of him,
Yeah.
and obviously his family who think that think that he was framed.
Sure. Because people think he was framed by the ministers and police chiefs, infuriated by the program's exposure of their failings. Like,
Yeah.
he was showing like there's so much crime and there's so many criminals, and I'm going to go to the scene of the crime and show that the police aren't doing anything about this. So people are like, oh, the police are upset at him for exposing how shitty they are.
Yeah, and I think also there's a claim that there's certain corrupt police who are afraid of being exposed.
Yep.
So they wanted to pin it on Souza and get him in jail and everyone in jail before he is to like potentially expose them himself, you know?
Yeah. And the way the documentary is, like, I probably went back and forth at least like 10 times of like, oh, he did it. Oh no, he was set up. Oh no, he did it. Oh, he was set up, because there's so many convincing arguments for either side that I really do not know if he was set up or not. I truly cannot tell you if I think he's guilty or not.
Because he does seem like enigmatic and charming and seems to really like stand for the cause and wanting to improve.
And they made it seem like
his
he
community.
lived in this like huge mansion. He had all this money. He lived in like a fairly modest house.
Really?
And even he was like, does this look like the house of a drug dealer?
Interesting.
Yeah. But also his son, it's also possible, another theory is that his son was the one who was doing all of this stuff and he was covering up for his son.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's what some people think about O.J. Simpson.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they think that his son did it and that O.J. was covering up.
How? I don't understand.
Well,
think
they
his
think that his son
killed him.
did it.
But why? What are their thoughts?
That his son, I guess, is a little loco, or it's his son with who? He has a few sons, or does he just have the one son? That's a whole other episode, Maria.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's in
the
theory.
It's in the documentary.
Yeah, because there was a whole thing with like drug dealers killing other drug dealers, and Wallace Souza's one of his brothers died from an overdose.
Oh shit.
And so some people think that maybe he was getting back at a drug dealer, and that's like an argument for he was doing this.
Oh, that's interesting.
The director of Canal Libre was interviewed, and she was like, I want to help convince people that Wallace was innocent because he is a great person. He would never do this. But then there's another producer on Canal Libre who was like, I saw them planning drugs.
Well, yeah, see, the planning drugs and stuff like that seems definitely suspect, and also seems believable.
That does seem believable, because the show was always exciting. There was always something happening.
Yeah.
And they always got there before the police. And so people thought they were tipped off by the police. And so they may have been like in the whole criminal ring with the police. Like, I do think something illegal was going on. I don't think Wallace was the head of this ring.
No, I don't. That seems a little.
I think he was
probably cooperating with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was probably cooperating with it for ratings.
Yeah.
Hey, it's OJ's son, Jason.
Okay.
So now we're in a fight?
No, I thought we were saving it. I'll do some research into it, but
Am I fired?
This is the last show.
this is it. That was the breaking point.
Maria's had enough.
Just so you guys know, there's a fire on Barham right now, and you can see the smoke.
Maybe that's why the sky got weird.
Yeah, the
Oh
sun.
my God, that's a lot of smoke.
The sun had to.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't see. Hold on.
Are we safe? I don't know. I evacuate?
We're underground.
I feel like that's even worse.
No.
Yeah, no. Well,
Hold on. I'm just taking
wait,
off
is
my
it a
thing.
forest fire?
It's right next to Warner Brothers. It's like,
A brush fire. Oh no, these fires are never ending here.
yeah.
So yeah, Jason Simpson.
Okay.
Because he wrote in a diary or something that he did it.
He did?
That's why the glove was so small, because it wasn't OJ's.
Yes.
Oh.
It's another episode, you guys. The
Yeah.
OJ
Oh, wow.
episode.
According to his research, Jason killed the victims in a fit of rage after which his father entered the scene. Jason suffered from violent outbursts and his issues with rage disorder. A diary he also discovered during the investigation indicates that Jason might have the tendency of hurting people who hurt his loved ones.
You guys, this isn't the OJ episode.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, what isn't when it comes to the OJ Simpson
and
case?
murder and mayhem.
Yeah, chaos.
Chaos, murder, and mayhem.
People love chaos. They feed off of it.
Whoa, who are you, the Joker? Oh, Maria. Why so serious? Welcome to Erios.
And in the documentary, though, when you're watching it, what made you think, like, oh, he didn't do it? Like, what was, like, a piece of evidence where you were like, oh.
Well, a lot of people think Moa was talked into saying that it was Wallace Souza who set it up. His wife initially said that he was tortured, but then he changed his story. So his story changed like 3 times.
Oh, interesting.
So we don't know who to believe. And then another drug dealer said he was also tortured into saying that it was Wallace Souza.
Oh, so that kind of leads you to believe that it wasn't him and that it's the corrupt police wanting to implicate Wallace.
Yeah, so there's a lot of evidence of that happening.
Interesting.
But a lot of people change their stories so many times.
Yeah.
And then his son, he has another son who was not involved. They interviewed him and he just said how everything was set up. When they raided his house, they planted the guns.
Oh, shit.
But also, when that bag of bullets they found in Raphael's cabinet, they tested those bullets and those matched the bullets of
someone who was on the hit list
someone
or something, right?
who was on, they exhumed the body and they tested the bullets and they were like, these are the same bullets. So there's a lot of conflicting evidence.
It's funny because it's either Wallace Souza is guilty or the cops are guilty of what they say Wallace Souza did.
Yeah, I think Wallace was involved somehow, because why do you have all that money? Yes, he had a health issue, but
Yeah, I mean, unless it was, well, I guess he copped to the money. He admitted that the money was his. So
Right.
that wasn't planted. It's just the reason for having it was.
right. And also his brother's being sent to jail this year for drug trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, like the family isn't crystal clear morally. And his name is an anagram for coleslaw. So I think that about says it all.
You have it.
Can I say something really quickly just on the
Yes.
Souza thing? On Reddit, you know, this actually happened before. There was a reporter in Eastern Europe who did something similar. People were wondering how he got to the crime scene so quickly to get the scoop. And so I think
Who? What's his name?
Vlado Taneski from Macedonia. He was a true crime reporter that killed 3 women and, of course, was always first on the crime scene and gave details in his articles that nobody except the police and killer could have known. He committed suicide, that's in quotations, in jail by drowning himself in a bucket.
In a bucket?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Vlado Taneski, serial killers thread on Reddit.
Journalist and serial killer. Wow.
He murdered 3 elderly women, 2 of which he strangled with a telephone cord. He was a reporter who reported on his own murders.
Wow.
That's
so this is like a
interesting.
thing. I mean, a small thing, but like a small group of people do this, but
All the women were raped, molested, and murdered in the most terrible way. And they have evidence that Taneski was responsible for all of them. Wow, that's crazy. That was 2003, so that's like kind of around the same time.
Oh my God, what if they were the same person?
Wow.
what do you look in your anagram thing? See if
Oh my God.
Souza spells Taneski. They
gonna-
both spell coleslaw.
girl.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We're going to start killing people for web crawler
No,
stories.
Melissa, allegedly.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry,
I mean,
came up
that's
with that.
How do you get the best scoop? You just got to go do it yourself.
That's what he said. That was the inner monologue he had.
I mean, it's a great idea.
He took Killer's story to a whole new level.
Ooh.
Wow, he was married and had 2 children. He worked at a radio station. His wife was the city's first female lawyer.
Wow.
Wow.
Was
So-
she in on it?
No. So he was a serial killer and journalist writing about his crime. Is this a movie?
No,
Maria, write this.
Okay, sorry. Let me open final.
He was a serial killer writing about his crimes who was married to the first female lawyer in his city.
But this is as good of a movie as the Wallace Souza movie, which is
That was a documentary.
That's a documentary.
No, but I'm talking about if I were to write a movie,
Right.
I should combine the two of them.
Was his wife defending him?
Oh God.
That
Let's
would
see.
be
Now
messed
that's-
Oh, wow. His mom, quote unquote, died of an overdose.
Oh no, he killed her.
Oh, wow. He only killed women who reminded him of his mother.
Oh, weird.
What an idiot to say all the information he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always weirds me out when it's like they're so narcissistic about it that they don't even care.
Well, it's like they want to get caught.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
they're seeing how far they can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't think his wife represented him. That would be
No. Well, because he never went to trial, I don't think. I
Right.
think he died just in
that's-
jail after being arrested.
That's similar to Wallace Souza. He died before going.
Yeah, it's going to trial.
Yeah.
There's a whole book on him, I guess. Actually, it's called The Best New True Crime Stories, Serial Killers by Mitzi Soretto.
I'll order it on Amazon.
It's a ton of short true crime stories.
Ooh, we should get that.
Yeah.
Put it on the Erios credit card.
Yeah. Charge it, bitch.
All right, we're going to read a couple Airbnb emails.
Yeah, let's do it because we that scam that we talked about last week, a lot of other people I think have maybe been scammed in a similar way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's read those emails.
There's a roommate scam and an Airbnb scam.
Damn. Let's start with the roommate scam.
Yeah, it's a good scam. Okay, this is from Grace. It's called Huge Ass Roommate Scam.
Oh man.
Hi, everyone. I love the pod. Just finished listening to your most recent episode where you're talking about scamming, and I have a story to go along with that. So when I was in college, I lived in a house with 6 bedrooms and 5 other roommates. Our senior year, one of our roommates graduated early, so we had an empty room that we decided to sublet. We were pretty desperate because being college students, we literally had no money and couldn't afford the extra $600 a month without a 6th roommate. So we made a bunch of posts on Craigslist and Facebook, stupid, I know, and barely got any responses. Finally, we got a response from a guy our age who recently moved to our area. He came to check out the house, and we met him, and he seemed to be really nice. He moved all of his stuff into the room, and that very week, again, we were desperate, and gave us a security deposit, so we thought he would be able to pay for rent and everything. Well, this dude was barely ever home, and
God.
when he was, he would stay up really late and listen to loud music and keep us up. And he never did the dishes. He was a terrible roommate, but it got worse. He had not paid rent or utilities for 2 months. Every time we asked for the money, he would give some lame excuse. It got weird when he started using the excuse that his mom was really sick and he would call us crying on the phone, so we kind of felt bad for him. Once it got to the 3rd month and we still got no money, we gave him a 2 weeks notice that he would be evicted and he would have to move his stuff out. On the day he was supposed to come collect his things, we would have to let him in ourselves because at this point we had the locks changed. He called us crying and said that he wouldn't be able to because he was on his way to his mom's funeral. So, feeling bad again, we kept his stuff for another month.
Oh no.
Now it gets weirder. It was going on the 4th month, and we still had all of his things in the 6th room, and by now we were pretty fed up. We decided just to leave his stuff outside and on the curb for trash. Good idea. When going through his room, we found a fully functioning iPhone X that was connected to AT&T and still had data. We also found about 100 pocket-sized graduation photos of himself scattered on the floor.
That's weird.
What? And a used condom in a plastic Ziploc baggie. Why was he keeping that?
Oh, that's scary.
It's dangerous.
He was furious we threw away his stuff, and we all had to eventually block his phone number because he wouldn't stop contacting us. I also did a lot of digging online and found his mom's social media accounts and her work phone number. She was still alive and doing well.
Oh, no.
I also looked up other family members and all other possibilities of a stepmom, but I found no such thing. His mom was completely fine. So basically, he scammed us out of $3,000, and the things we found in his room were pretty strange, possibly criminal. He came up with a plot that his mom was dying and stuck with the story for 2 months. And by the time we got rid of him, we really couldn't afford legal fees to charge him with any wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess we learned our lesson with that one. I now will never live with roommates again. Love you guys.
Oh my God, crazy.
What were those pictures doing?
The condom in the bag is what scares me.
Yeah.
Why would he have a used condom in a bag?
Because you don't want to throw that condom away because it's something bad.
Oh, maybe.
Wait, like what?
Unconsensual sex?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And what were all he had hundreds of photos of himself. Was he making like fake IDs or something?
Oh.
And he had an iPhone
Fake
in there.
Maybe he
Passport?
ordered too many.
And he was just jerking off to them.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's
never know.
fucking, people are weird. There was a story in the past year, I think in the New York Times or something, where this woman had a roommate and he wouldn't leave for like a year. And there was some crazy loophole, some law that was like squatters' rights or something. Like he
my
lived there and
God.
she could not get him out, and he was terrorizing her. And
That's
he
a
had done that
nightmare.
his whole life. That's what he was, like a scammer.
To like different roommates?
Yes. I gotta find this article and send it to you guys because it's a nightmare.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's Criff. Sorry for this roommate.
Yeah, so sorry.
Damn.
Read that Airbnb scam.
Okay,
Damn.
here we go. Airbnb. This is from Megan.
Okay.
Hi, ladies. Just wanted to share a story to show how shitty Airbnb is. A couple years ago, a friend and I were in Scotland for the weekend. We were too poor for a hotel, but not desperate enough to share a room at a hostel with 6 other people, so we opted to stay in Airbnb. We booked a shared apartment and headed there when we left the airport. First warning sign should have been the fact that the place was almost impossible to find.
Oh God.
It was one of those instances where you have Google Maps up and you're hovering over the dot and yet you still can't find your destination. I hate that. It's like, where the fuck is this? What is
That
it's
happened
here?
to me in Copenhagen.
We tried to contact the host through the app's messaging system and the guy would not respond.
Oh no.
He had given us a cell phone number, so we called and texted, but no response. We ended up finding the place on our own, struggled for about 15 minutes to get the key out of the lockbox, but finally entered the apartment, excited to drop off our stuff and head out for the night. So we followed the instructions the host gave us clearly. There are 3 bedrooms. Yours is the room to the left of the bathroom. So in we walk, and we push the door open. A guy was in the bed, saw us come in, jumped out and slammed the door and started screaming at us in a different language.
No.
The short glimpse we got of the room showed that this thing was lived in. This kid had clothes and crap everywhere. He was not going to move rooms. We tried to talk to him, but he had locked us out. So once again, we called and messaged the host with no response. 2 bedrooms were left then. One was immaculate, 2 comfy-looking beds and perfectly rolled towels awaited. The other room was, of course, repulsive. Someone had checked out and it hadn't been cleaned yet. There's dirty sheets, soaking wet towels on the floors, trash cans overflowing with diapers. Just kidding.
Oh my God. I was like, been there, done that.
There was no way in hell we were staying there, and the host wasn't answering our calls. So we parked all of our stuff in the clean room and headed out for the night. After a night of pub crawls and 45 beers, we stumbled back into the apartment. Drunk AF, we found all our stuff in the hallway with a note on top of our suitcases. It said, "Hey, don't know why you were in our room, but we confirmed with the host and you should not be in the space. Sorry for the misunderstanding." First of all, we were beyond ourselves that someone had just tossed our stuff out into the open. Second
my
of all,
God.
these people talked to the host? We must have called the guy 30 times. So now we were 2 drunk 20-something Americans in a different country, locked out of all the bedrooms except the filthy one, which still had not been cleaned. We had no choice but to sleep in the gross, wet, used room.
Oh my God.
In our drunken rage, my friend emailed the host of Airbnb. They responded a couple days later and basically told us there was nothing they could do. They would not refund us any money, and the host would not suffer any repercussions. The only repercussion he would have experienced was my friend's scathing review, which I believe started off as, I only gave him 1 star because it wouldn't let me give him 0. Now my friend and I laugh about the situation and how psychotic all of her emails and reviews were, but it was obviously extremely annoying at the time. I've stayed in other Airbnbs since then and had much better experiences, but every time I wonder if it's even worth all of the hassle and interaction you have to have with these hosts. I'm sure that Vice article will bring you guys tons of emails about how bad Airbnb is, so please enjoy my long-winded contribution. Love all of you and the podcast very much. I want to be friends with you guys. Best wishes, Megan.
God, Megan. That's
horrible.
horrible.
Like, who was staying in a guy in the room?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was like the owner
It
of the
probably
Airbnb.
was him.
What's Airbnb's problem? Where like they won't get involved in this stuff.
I don't know.
Like, are they afraid?
Do they not have enough employees?
They're cowards, is what they are.
I read
Yeah.
somewhere that they use cult-like practices within
Oh.
their work.
What do you mean?
Like Lululemon?
What do they do?
Yeah, and like Cafe Gratitude.
Oh, God. Well, yeah. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Cafe Gratitude is a restaurant here in Los Angeles where the things you order are like affirmations.
I can't. I went there once. I can't do it.
So you order like the I am grateful.
Yeah.
No, but you know, they also literally like are a cult.
No, I didn't know how.
They
my
are?
God. Yes. Hold on.
I have a horror Airbnb story. There were bed bugs in one of my Airbnbs
No.
in Paris. Oh, my friend Milo and I had this little Airbnb. We woke up the next day. I was in my sleep sack, which means I was left unscathed.
Yeah.
What's a sleep sack?
It's a sleeping bag that goes over your head.
What? But you were in a bed?
Yeah, but I had my sleep sack.
Okay.
But
my
Milo
God.
didn't because we had just been working on a farm, and so I brought the sleep sack to like keep bugs away from me while we were
Right.
working on the farm. And then I also was using it in the hotel room because I didn't know it was in there. But I mean, the Airbnb, but it was a nice Airbnb. Next morning, tons of bug bites. Oh. And it was like Airbnb helped us out, but it took a while. And then the owner was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. And we walked in to get our bags, and it was like a cloud of smoke from his like anti-bug thing that he was using.
Stop.
And we were like, we're not staying here. He's like, no, it died down. We were like, what are you doing? Get out.
So gross.
And then I looked online like a year ago. It's still up. It's still an Airbnb choice.
How do these places... I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's crazy.
And let me just tell you this really quickly. I was just in Canada, and I don't know what's going on with Uber Canada, but what the hell? They're scammers.
Why would happen?
So I asked for a car, and then it said 1 minute away, and then it says your drivers are like 1 minute away. It showed all the cars right by me. Then I clicked accept, and then it was like, oh no, your driver's 10 minutes away. And so I quickly, within literally a 30-second time, pressed, cancel. And because you're allowed to cancel within like 2 minutes or whatever. Then a thing shows up on my thing that's like, sorry, you have to pay $5 for the cancellation.
Oh, what?
And then I was like, well, hold on. So then I went to the help section, and I went to like a problem with cancellation. And basically all I had to do was say like, canceled the ride or whatever. Basically it was on me to then tell them they were wrong, and then I got my $5 back easy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
like
it was
you
like
have to take
they
the
were
extra step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like and then they would do this wait time thing, which I don't think they do in the US, where every minute they charge you like 15 cents for waiting. But and on the thing, on like the app, it tells you after you've gotten out of the car, it adds like the 15 cents or whatever. But even if I got in the car right there, it starts timing it. But then when you look at the help section, it goes, the timer starts after 5 minutes of the person waiting. So it's like all these things that they like slide under to go like, and then you have to do it yourself. You're the one that has to take the action.
So it is beneficial for an Uber driver to take longer to pick you up.
Yes, because I bet they can start that clock at any time where they can go like the wait. Because each car I got into had extra charges to it because of the wait time, and I was always on the curb.
So
my God,
that's a wait time as if like they get there and you're not waiting there yet, but they can start that clock at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, dude.
I know.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you, these
all
fucking
scams.
app companies are fucked, and we're gonna get you.
Well,
not
coming
not
for you.
violently, intellectually.
It just sucks
Intellectually.
because there aren't any options. They have monopolies on these.
Well, the option
companies.
is you have to do things yourself.
Yeah.
And
But it's just, what's the problem with having an app and also having really good customer service? Why is
Right.
that so crazy?
well, because all these CEOs just want money. They don't care.
They don't like they're millennials who don't like talking to people.
oh, okay, boomer.
I don't know. I think it's people are cowards and stuff like that makes me
Yep.
so mad. Where it's like, oh no, just kidding. Glad you could glad you could get your money back. It's like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have charged me in the first place, and you knew it.
hate it.
God.
Well, to close, I will say Cafe Gratitude, a restaurant in LA, is a cult.
Also, Lululemon.
Allegedly, the restaurant forces employees to adopt their spiritual views and illegally pays for life-changing seminars,
What?
tracks employees' spiritual progress and a resistance to indoctrination, and fires staff who do not follow the cafe's spiritual path.
One of you has
Wait,
to go undercover.
what?
I hope you guys know that.
Oh, I have to order the I'm grateful
No,
salad.
you have to go undercover as an
And work there.
employee and get wired.
No, apparently, like and some of them like live in a commune together. Like you have to like live in a house together, and like you take these weird seminars. It's weird.
Oh, they do landmark education training.
Yeah.
What's that?
You know what landmark is?
No.
Landmark is that like Tony Robbins stuff, like motivational.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's not just
Like you pay for these courses
you're not
to
just
like
a
improve
waitress.
yourself.
Yeah, it's
It's a lifestyle.
And so then what does Lululemon do? They do the same thing?
Lululemon, that's a whole. We got to do a whole other episode
Okay.
on them, but they are a cult. they make their employees do the same shit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
okay. We should do it next week.
Yes.
What's a cult? These things, surprisingly, these things are cults.
Yeah.
Cults in corporate America.
Corporate cults.
Corporate cults.
Corporate cults.
Corporate
Ooh, I'm
cults.
excited.
I'm
Hashtag
excited.
corporate cults.
Hashtag corporate cults. I can't wait to get sued. Melissa,
Lose
where
all
can,
our sponsors.
yeah, lose all our sponsors. Melissa, where can people follow us online?
People can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WebCrawlersPod. We're on Reddit. We got a Facebook page. We have really awesome merch at webcrawlerspod.com.
I almost forgot.
What?
We started another podcast.
Oh my God.
And it's on the Earios Network. You can find it on iTunes and on Spotify. It's
Yes.
me, Allie Siegel, Melissa Stetton, and Rachel Fisher from Hollywood Crime Scene.
Remember our Epstein episode when they were
from our
guested?
joint Epstein episode. This is a 90 Day Fiancé podcast.
Yeah, we're all obsessed with that show.
Yeah, and it's a recap podcast produced by producer Maria. And
I have no voice in it, though. If you're looking for my voice,
Yeah, because you don't watch the show, do you?
I don't watch the show.
yeah, but she's sitting right next
I'm
to us.
right there. So you listen
She's
and
getting
you
the
know.
gist of it from
Yeah,
what we're saying.
it's basically us teaching Maria 90 Day Fiancé. It's called 90 Day Fiancé Slumber Party.
yes.
And by the time you listen to this episode, our first episode will probably be out.
yeah.
And then maybe a day later, our second episode will be out.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? So you can listen to that 90 Day Fiancé Slumber Party and get a cameo from us.
Yeah, get a cameo. We got to do one right now.
Yeah, we're going to film one now. Anyways, thank you for listening. And
Don't trust anyone,
don't trust anyone.
especially not Airbnb.
And don't forget that Wallace Souza
May or may not.
spells
Spells coleslaw.
in the anagram machine. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
An Earios original.
Powered by ACAST.